when we think about 120 years, it takes us even further back than the foundation of the Union of South Africa, which was in 1910. And of course, the concept of South Africa was part of the political discourse before then, but the reality was that we were still 4 separate colonies of England. And you go back 10 years before that was the Boer War, and there was the fights for independence, and etc. and etc. etc. So that's all very ancient history. And it's during that time that the Agriculture Union was formed. I can't remember offhand what it was called originally, but it became the South African Agriculture Union very shortly after that. And for a period of, most of the 20th century, it was called the South African Agriculture Union. And I think, to be fair, it was a really stodgy and an institution that didn't change much. That was formed, and it was there to support farmers. But on the other hand, it didn't really look at the general welfare of the country. It didn't look at the impact on the economy as a whole. And certainly in those days, it wasn't necessary to look at the global economy, because the global economy was an economy of autarky. There was very little sort of communication and very little trade with the outside world. And so this institution was caught up, I think, in the change to democracy in the transition period from the late 1980s through to 1994, and of course the first era of democracy. During that process, it morphed itself into Agri-South Africa. And I've spent a large part of my career being very critical of the role that the Agriculture Union played. But I think if one stands back and looks at the long sweep of things, you have to understand that the successful institutions are institutions that can adapt to changes. They are institutions that are informed, that have a future vision, and that are agile enough to look at the future and look at what's needed and to change themselves in the process. Now, of course, institutions like this have problems. Farmers are decision makers who are under massive stress and under massive, they take massive risks at times when ordinary people, normal people, wouldn't even dream of taking those risks. And they are the members of the Agriculture Union. They're the people who vote the officers into office, etc., etc. So there's always this tension that one has to work with. But I think, in retrospect, and in the larger picture of things, we can be pretty sure that the Agriculture Union, as it changed into Agri-South Africa, has been as agile as what it could be, and has been as adaptable as what it could be, and is as prepared for the future as what it could be. And I think 120 years, going back a very long time, is a good sort of point at which to celebrate the successes of the organization, and specifically to look at the future. I agree with what was said earlier this evening, that we need to be more unified. We need to be a broader church. We need to bring in different factions, etc., etc., etc. But these are refinements on a model which I believe is working.